rough weekend for the Texas Longhorns. Texas kind of stumbling down the stretch a little bit. We went on the road to Arkansas, got swept by a dangerous Arkansas team. That after this last weekend doesn't seem so dangerous, I guess you could say. LSU also a dangerous team. And then probably the hottest team in the SEC comes to town in the Florida Gators. They had won 10 of their last 12, I believe, coming into the series against Texas. We drop the series. We win the middle game on Saturday. What was it? 5-3, 5-2. Friday night was a pretty rough disaster really quickly early on. And then Sunday was just a game where I felt like we had some opportunities and just could not get a hit when we really needed a hit. Zach, we'll start with you. Talk to us about the series overall. What are your thoughts as we attack this Monday?
Yeah, I think, not making excuses for the team. I just think dealing with the flu all week really affected them a lot more than I think they probably thought it would. There was guys that started getting sick on the Arkansas trip, and it just it went throughout the entire team. Ruger had it just a couple days before he had pitched. Luke Harrison even had it just a couple days before he pitched. And, but just getting started off, I think it just wasn't Ruger's day. It wasn't that he was throwing bad pitches. He just couldn't locate his fastball. They're sitting breaking ball, and you look up and it's 6-0, right? And so they had to take him out. He only threw, I think, 35 pitches overall to get 2 outs. And in some ways that might be a blessing, right? Like he gets an extended kind of break. He gets to kind of just restart, recycle. But they just got off on a bad foot and just felt like they couldn't get anything going. Like it went and affected the rest of the way that they operated the rest of that night. Pierce Coppola, not taking anything away from him, he was really, really good. He continues to come back from injury, and he was on a pitch count, and it was like, okay, once you get him out, now you have your chance. And they really never could get things going. It was one of those nights offensively. And then you look at Saturday, and it was a little bit of here we go again. Florida's got their ace, Liam Peterson. And I mean, people forget, like, he's supposed to be their Friday night guy, but the only reason he was on Saturday is because of the weather delays and everything getting messed up with South Carolina. And, Texas probably got a little fortunate that they got a little natural intervention there from the Lightning, and they were able to pull out a win because they got some late offense. But, it was just on Sunday, I think, is really the game. Like I can live with Friday night. I can live with Saturday, the entire experience, right? I think Sunday is probably where, if you ask folks within the program, you ask the coaching staff, and they were to give you their, down to earth thoughts, I think they'd probably tell you, we just flat out got beat. We just did not play, and they didn't play to the standard. And
right.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you see when you get a 4-1 win. Or a loss. It's just, they couldn't get anything going, right? Like the pitching wasn't bad. It certainly wasn't great to start off with. Flores had some issues commanding the zone. But after that, the pitching kept them in the game. And so it was just the hitters did not execute.
Yeah, Mark, you're out there in left field with the whole left field gang. Talk to us about the vibe all weekend. How did that evolve over the weekend? And obviously Friday night, right off the bat, I'm sure it was like, holy shit, we're down 6-0. This is bad. And then Saturday was as Zach mentioned, kind of more of the same until the weather delay. And then the bats kind of wake up. The wind died down a little bit, coming straight in. It'd been blowing. I mean, it blew in all weekend, basically, except the last half of that game on Saturday. And so I think that was fortunate. We were able to get a couple balls out of the park. And then Jonah Williams has a big, what was it? It was a bases loaded double to clear the bases there. A big hit for Jonah Williams. Talk to us about the vibe out there and just what your thoughts were from watching it out there in left field.
I mean, obviously we had our moments out there in left field. It was a good weekend overall, but it was a frustrating series, right? A much different experience than Arkansas the week before, right? Arkansas, you really just felt like we weren't playing our best baseball and didn't really put ourselves in a chance to be successful. But I felt like we had the opportunity to win this series, right? And I feel like a lot of the runs that Florida was able to get were kind of self-inflicted on the Texas side, right? A lot of walks, some tough plays in the field. There was that tough play on Friday where Farmers, lining up to come down with that fly ball and hits the fence. Ball pops out of his glove, type of thing. So, just one of those really weird series, man. Baseball's like that sometimes, as we know, though, and it was frustrating, right? We couldn't seem to get the big hit on Friday or Sunday when we needed it, and just felt like we left some opportunities out there to win that series. So again, that's baseball for you, and you're going to run into those scenarios over the course of a long season. But it was disappointing with that being the last home weekend series of the regular season. I'm sure the guys wanted to win yesterday to try and get a share of that SEC title, during a home game, and get a win on senior day, all of that fun stuff. But you really got to just keep it in perspective, look at the overall season, right? I think if you would have told me going into the last week of the year in Norman that we're sitting number 3 in the country with a chance to win the SEC title, I'd be pretty damn happy, and I'd probably feel a lot better than I did last night driving home from Dishwalk. So at the end of the day, man, you really just got to reset and think about it through that lens, right? We are number 3 in the country with a chance to win the SEC. And I'll be honest with you, before the season started, I didn't think that was a possibility. So I'm gonna choose to stay positive. Obviously, as always, stick with the boys and support them this weekend in Norman, and hoping that they find a way to turn it around and get a big series win on the road.
Yeah, I mean, there seems to be more and more of this football mentality. And Zach, you mentioned it when you were talking to Sloss this morning. I put a poll up at the end of last week. Has like the football mentality kind of taken over baseball fandom? And I think it has. It's not the same type of game. You can go out and get beat 10-0 in baseball, and that doesn't mean you're not a good team. It just means a whole lot of baseball stuff happened to you during that game. And so, people are asking, is it time to press the panic button if you're a Texas fan? I still don't think it is. I mean, it's not great. There's a lot of things this team is not doing that they have done to this point. But I look back at it and go, they've done those things a lot longer this season than they haven't done those things. And you look at the series this weekend, and some of the notes I had, one of the things I wrote down, and this may sound like complete, I don't know, like homerific Texas sounding, but I don't feel like Florida did anything all that special this weekend. I think Texas just was absolutely terrible at the plate. I thought outside of the first inning of Friday night's game, the pitching was pretty good. Yeah, we mentioned Flores. Yeah, he kind of had some rough stuff going on, but outside of that, the pitching was really good. I mean, this Florida offense only had 14 runs all weekend, and so it's not like they came in and just beat up the ball. We just simply could not hit the ball like whatsoever.